What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. I am your host, Trill Bro Dude, and today is a very somber day on the podcast. We celebrate and mourn the loss of a legend, an NBA career coming to an end. Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards of all time, has announced that he will be stepping down after this season. This is basically his victory lap, his final tour. Do you have any thoughts on the career of Chris Paul, Sam?
I mean, this is why President Trump labeled Antifa a terrorist organization, because this is the type of, they're flexing their muscles right now. But they're dabbing on us. They've forced one of the most powerful fascists in history to step down and cede his power, that of course being Chris Paul. You have the Mount Rushmore, you have of all your right-wing guys, you have Pinochet, Hitler, Mussolini, well, then now it's Chris Paul, kind of taking the place of Idi Amin on that Rushmore. And what can you say? He lived a tremendous life. I mean, in all honesty, like dropping the bit for a second, is he the most successful NBA player to never win a championship? Like, he's got to be up there now. Like, I know he didn't win like the MVPs that like Nash won, but I think Chris Paul had a much better career than Steve Nash, and I don't think that that's a particularly like hot take thing to say.
Well, we'll talk about a few players probably that had very good careers that might not end up winning a title on the episode possibly today. None of them have had the the longevity that Chris Paul had, arguably. I don't think that even the guys that like you stack up, like the Barkleys, the Malones, the Stocktons, all those guys. Stockton obviously had crazy longevity. I don't know if you've seen people post the assists stuff that like even LeBron has no chance of catching him with his longevity. Like obviously Stockton had that crazy longevity. He's certainly in the top 5, I would say. Harden is slowly catching up to him though. Like, this is the thing that we'll talk about today. Now, the gap between regular season Harden and playoff Harden is even larger than Chris Paul, where it's like, we'll talk about James Harden and kind of revamping his NBA career. And when people think about Chris Paul in 15 years, let's say 20 years, they'll definitely remember some of the negative stuff, obviously, some of the
brown
playoff
shirts, the strike breaking, like Operation Gladio, Operation Griffio.
The defensive rotations weren't on time. They never missed. They never missed.
When he locked down Lob City and forced the workers, brutal crackdown, forced the workers of Lob City back into the factories.
Locked one of them in their own house.
That's literally true. I forgot about that.
Literally was breaking the CBA when he might have been the president of the Players Association, possibly. I don't know. It feels like a little bit of a conflict of interest to me personally.
Does that make Doc the German Liberal Party in this analogy, or see the? I don't know. See.
Well, Doc, say what you will about Doc, but he is flexible. He can change with the times.
He sure can. He's survived many a time. I mean, Chris Paul's just like. You go back and you like look at the numbers, like I think Calculator Rats, and they have a pretty good argument. Calculator Rats will say that he might be like the greatest point guard of all time, like start to finish. Like, and there's a pretty good argument with that. It's like Stockton, like Magic obviously had his career cut short. Like you could argue that his highs were higher. Oscar.
Steph a point guard is the ultimate question that I think that Bill and Zach talked about a little bit. A lot of people will talk about, because if Steph's a point guard, it's him and Magic. Like that's like that is then you start the other players. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you consider Steph more of a combo guard, the greatest combo guard that's ever lived, basically potentially revolutionized the sport, then that's a little bit different. Chris Paul was the last of a dying breed, though, for sure. Like, of the really good small point guard who ruled with an iron fist
Yes.
who legitimately, like, one of the reasons why Chris Paul was so great was because he could control a game like no other. Like, he could literally take the ball into his hands, roll the ball out, and he could, from start to finish, dominate a game. Everything was always in its perfect place. He could maximize players that were a little bit more limited that were playing with him. And he could get career years out of big specifically a lot of the times. But the flip side of that is that it was Chris Paul's way or the highway, right? He did not have the same flexibility that we talk about when we talk about some of these guys that reach higher standards, right? Like higher peaks.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to like when you talk about the greatest offensive players of all time, like the Jokic's, the Stephs, whatever, LeBron, they proved to be flexible at different points throughout their career. And Chris Paul, I would say, kind of made up for the fact that he was seen as not flexible in the Houston and Phoenix days, where he proved that he can play with other stars in a way, like offensively tilted stars, I mean, and not like just front court partners. Like, he was able to play with Booker and Harden and realistically could have won championships with both of them. Like, was up 2-0 in the finals with Booker.
Came very close to dethroning the Warriors with Harden. Like,
and that's kind of what when I think about what people are going to think about in 15 to 20 years with Chris Paul's career, is that ultimately Chris Paul had a combination of bad luck for sure. Like, I mean, the hamstring is specifically that while you're about to take down potentially the greatest team that we've ever seen, combined with, the fact that he had a few moments where he could have really seized the moment and captured it and rewrote his legacy, 3 or 4 different times, and was not able to. And one of the points that Zach brought up that I did think was a pretty good point was he did play in the most demonic Western Conference. With like superhero level players.
Pretty much his entire career.
And like the New Orleans thing, like that was probably when he was actually at his physical peak, when he was with New Orleans. And he had, he famously was a runner-up for MVP to Kobe, could have very easily won MVP that year. But like those teams never had a chance. Like, he was the only reason they were even in any sort of conversation when they were winning.
Him and David West.
Exactly.
Before.
And they were winning, 45 to 50 something games because of him. And so he has this combination of one of the greatest floor raisers we've ever seen, one of the greatest point guards we've ever seen, combined with the fact that he at least beat some of the allegations of not being a player that can fit in on teams later in his career, and the greatest longevity we've ever seen from a small guard. Like, we've talked about it before. What LeBron is doing now is inhuman, and we will never see it again. But LeBron is also a 6'8", athletic marvel. Chris Paul, was not that, and until this season was like a neutral to positive NBA player. He's 40.
I was gonna say Andy's 5'10", but like I don't care what he said. He's listed at 6'1" or something like that. He's 5'10".
They talked about it on the Zach and Bill podcast, and Zach said, I didn't realize me and Zach are the exact same height, by the way. He said he's 5'11" and 3/4, and he says he claims 6 foot, but he's not technically 6 foot. And he said he stood next to Chris Paul and they're about the same height. So he's 5'11".
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I've seen Chris Paul live, and my professional opinion as someone who's 4'11" was that he was exactly 11 inches taller than me. So from far away. So and I'm very good at that. I know exactly how tall anyone is.
You have the Terminator vision. But for height.
Yeah, just look at me. That's why I'm such good friends with so many women. So I can sort of I can discern that for them. I can tell how men are lying on their hinge. That's my superpower. I look at their hinge profile and I can tell who's lying. So don't do it, fellas. You don't want to get off on a. Yeah, I'm an ally. No, I mean, Chris Paul. I mean, until the longevity thing. I mean, it's so funny that we're gonna be doing all these things with Chris Paul, and then meanwhile he's on the team with James Harden during this James Harden carry job where how old is James Harden? 37, 36?
36.
Yeah.
He turns 37, I think, next May, if I remember correctly.
I don't see a particular reason why James Harden can't, like, because he's so strong. I don't see why he won't be effective for like 4 more years. Like, I think he will still be an NBA player when he's 40 as well. Like,
why don't we transition here? Because I'm going to take with the first pick in the not. So the concept of this draft is essentially the washed or not draft. So we'll do 2 players we think aren't washed, 2 players we think are washed, and we'll go back and forth and we'll draft players throughout this, and we'll make our arguments for why they are washed or why they're not washed. The player that I wanted to specifically talk about first was James Harden. He's on the image of this. This is the second straight year this has happened, by the way. I don't know if you realize that, that this really is like the 4th or 5th straight year. Like, can he keep getting away with this? The answer is a profound yes.
Yeah, resounding yes.
Resounding yes that he will be getting away with it once again. And I just want to point out, this is kind of, in his own Harden way, this is kind of what Chris Paul did when he went to Phoenix, right? Like, I guess technically the analog might be a little bit closer to the OKC year that Chris Paul had, just because Chris Paul was the best player on that team before Shea had made his leap into MVP level. But I do just want to say that this is such an incredible start to the season for Harden. I mean, there's an argument he's been one of the 10 best players in the NBA. He's certainly been one of the 10 best offensive players in the NBA. And by the way, that's not in a weak field for that right now. We have 4, 5, 6 guys that could legitimately win MVP this year. And I think he's in that next group down. Like, really, the way watching Harden this year and like seeing what he was like at the end of his tenure with the Sixers, I'm shocked that he's been able to kind of find this other level that he has not really had, because even the last 2 years ago when he first got to the Clippers, he was still the head of the snake, the lead of, and the reason why they had a great offense, but he was still playing with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, right? Like, and Zubac, who, you know, look, a good offensive big combined with Paul George, who was probably the best 3rd option in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard, who was one of the best 2nd options in the NBA. They played this very synergistic style of basketball. Harden was learning to play on and off the ball, which he kind of started with the Nets and the Sixers, but continued. And then last year, he kind of goes back to heliocentric Harden when Kawhi's out, and he looks great, but not as good as he has this year. He's basically, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. He is literally reverse Uno now. That's what I want to call him.
The reverse card. He's playing the reverse card.
He is. Uno is when Harden is at will getting into the Houston Harden, the best versions of Harden that we've seen before, right?
Yeah.
Houston Harden, the beginning of Nets Harden, not quite Sixers Harden, but at times was the best when he was getting into the paint, getting downhill, getting fouled. And that would open up the step back for him, right? Where everyone would have to worry consistently about the drive, to the point where you have guys like Ricky Rubio guarding him from behind so that he can't even get to that step back. And you're just trying to put him into the paint and drive him into defenders. And then you have this version of Harden, which is the opposite, where the step back kind of opens up everything else for him. Everyone is so worried about the step back, kind of similar to how Rubio was during that series, that it has got to the point where it now is the reason why he is threatening as a driver, that teams are playing so close up on him that even at his state physically, where he is not the same guy, he's able to kind of, like you said, he's strong. He can leverage the threat of that step back into getting downhill, and he has more of a mid-range game. He's playing more with floaters. These are things that he started to incorporate in his game with the Sixers, but you're really starting to see it all kind of come together at this age for him. And he is basically, I don't know if you've seen the Spider-Man meme where he's holding up the entire subway train with the OKC pick behind him. He's their only chance. And I've watched him a lot this year just because I've been interested to see this. And they've already played the Sixers. And I watched that Hornets game the other day where he went absolutely berserk in that game. And the thing that I wanted to say is that, like, basically what he's doing right now is willing them to victory on any given night. He's been the best first half player in the NBA, arguably, this year. it's the only bad games he's had are the second half of a back-to-back where he just kind of, he runs out of gas. And if you were to filter out those stats, I bet you he would be having probably one of the 5 or 6 best seasons in the NBA to start this year at his age, which is absolutely incredible. He has beat the allegations for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, and again, like you said, just kind of keeping afloat like a pretty dire Clippers situation, like, and unctions are not doing well in general, but that's a pretty good transition to my pick that I'd like to make at this point. This is not surprising necessarily, but we're talking about a guy who's older than James Harden in Steph Curry, who Unk still got it. He's 37. And he is currently, I believe, fourth in the NBA in usage right now at 33.9. So higher usage than Shea right now. Only Jaylen Brown, Luka, and Giannis. So Jaylen Brown and Giannis obviously leading dog shit teams that need them to play take the ball every time. And Luka's Luka, and Steph's at age 37 still fourth. I think is at 65. Yeah, 65 true shooting. Fucking 60% 3-point attempt rate. I mean, this is not Steph ball is Steph ball. I mean, this is not anything we haven't seen before, but I think what's incredible is that he's still fucking doing this, even with this. I think I would probably say this is probably the most talented, quote unquote, talented roster he's had since KD left, probably, right? Like, if you had to think about it,
I mean,
like,
by name, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the names certainly stand out. The versions of those players, arguable. Like for example, like this version of Draymond versus the version of Draymond when they won the championship in 22. There's probably a difference between those two. There are many players that I'm sure we'll talk about on this episode that will be, mentioned because they are, the Northern California faction of the Unction squad.
Yeah.
But they certainly have, it's weird because they have a lot of like big names, talent, but when you watch them, it's very obvious that the reason why previous Steph teams succeeded, right, were because they knew exactly how to, other than the KD ones. The KD ones was
just raw talent, too much raw talent.
They turned off all the rules. They fucking went into 2K and changed the settings. No one was beating them unless they got injured because it was literally just the perfect set of circumstances to build this team. But every other team, like, I don't know, like they always had guys that would fit into their roles well, is what I'm trying to get at here. Like Kevon Looney was a huge, not a big name at all. He was a huge part of multiple great Warriors teams.
Yeah.
I think back to even Andrew Bogut when they won their first championship and got back the second time. They have had guys who are not necessarily like flashy big names, but they kind of, they have guys who do the grunt work and they fill their roles very nicely. This Warriors team feels like it misses that a little bit when you watch them. Like it feels like they definitely have a lot of pop and a lot of like ability, but they don't have those guys to fill in the gaps.
Well, and I think that to your point, when that isn't working, they go back to the tried and true thing, which is having Steph smash the Steph button, which is still works at age 37. And by the way, he's taller than Chris Paul. He's still a slight point guard. Again, like, you want to talk about, I mean, we brought him up by name with some of these other things. I think what makes the longevity of like Steph is like particularly noteworthy for like not being washed at this point. I mean, he's obviously like just a freak. We're never going to see anything like it, like in terms of like shooting, but he's also small and like was injured. You know what I'm saying? He's not exactly like a bulletproof guy who's like made of Kevlar. Like, so the fact that he's still doing this at like age 37, I think is like pretty remarkable. And I'm going to say the thing is that people always made me so mad when people would say it about LeBron, like, we have to appreciate this, like, because we are kind of, we might be watching kind of the twilight years of, we might miss this when it's gone. You never know how many more Mike Breen bangs you have to take to the chest.
Yeah, no, an electric Steph game like those games that he had against the Spurs, they're few and far between compared to when he was at his peak. I can't remember who said this. I wish I remember. It was actually a really great quote, was that age doesn't take away your ceiling, it takes away your consistency. Where it's like these guys can still tap into the brilliance like Harden and Steph have this season, but they just can't bring it on an every night basis because of the rate of play today in the NBA, the schedule. I mean, you could even look at it by looking at their stat lines. Like here are Steph's last few stat lines. Harden was the same way, and I just talked about the second half of the back-to-back fatigue. They had 2 back-to-backs within the span of a week, and he looked dead in the second one, but was literally the best player on the court for like 1.5 of those games. So here is Steph's last game. All right, ready? 38 points on 14 of 23, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. The game before that, when he didn't play the Miami game, and then he had played 3 days previous to this, 34 points on 12 of 23 with 9 assists. But 2 nights before that, against against the New Orleans Pelicans, he had 9 points on 2 of 11. So he has, and once again, we have talked about like Steph is the rare offensive superstar that when the shot isn't falling, that he demands so much attention from the defense that it makes everyone's lives around him easier in a way that most stars can't say, because they demand the ball and they kind of need to have the offense run through them. Steph isn't like that, but at the same time, just before this, he had 49 points on 16 of 26 and 46 points on 13 of 25, literally the previous 2 games. So the whole point here is that while Steph isn't 2016 Steph every single night bringing it, he is someone that can occasionally still tap into it, and he is the definition of Ugg still got it if you catch him on the right night.
So I love him. Still the GOAT. Still one of the GOATs.
They're the only ones that I think that we're going to talk about in this episode that have been top 10 players in the NBA this year, where it's like, if you list out the best players, both Harden and Steph should still be towards the top.
There's one more guy who's sort of close, but probably not quite top 10.
Okay, let's save them then.
Save it. Yeah,
let's save them.
That's going to be my next pick if you don't take him.
Okay, well, we'll do someone who we think it's over for now. Okay. We already talked about Chris Paul, so I'm not going to take him. I mean, Chris Paul, I think you could have made this argument a year ago, to be clear. Like, he was still a decent player and helped Wemby and the Spurs a lot last year. But this year, I mean, he just completely has fell off a cliff, to the point where it's like, we talked about it on a Patreon episode, where I was like, this is the first time in his entire career where his team's actually been better when he sits. Every other year for 20 years of his career, his team was usually much better.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
And most of the seasons, at least slightly better. So I have a few guys that I want to continue to mull over here. But the one guy I think, and it brings me a lot of joy to say this, but
Ace Bailey was washed.
No, he's looked good recently. Actually, I've watched a few of their games. I've mentioned this before, but I think that Ace getting drafted to the Jazz was the best thing that ever happened to him, because I'm watching John Collins on the Clippers, and I'm like, this guy can't dribble a basketball, and Will Hardy in that system is literally maximizes players who cannot dribble a basketball. Like Lowry is not a great ball handler. John Collins had some of the best years of his career on that team. Ace Bailey is already starting to look like he's kind of figuring it out and turning a corner a little bit for them.
Do we think Jaylen Brown would
he would be Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan if he played for Will Hardy? Yeah.
I mean, he at least could dribble with one hand.
That's true. Yeah.
He played for him. They got to the finals. Undeniable.
Yep.
But the thing that the other player related to the Boston Celtics and the team we just talked about, the Warriors, Al Horford is cooked. He's al dente, folks. I guess would al dente not be fully cooked? I guess that would still be.
Well, you're stiff, you know. Like
you
know, like you're not noodled. He is al dente. Yeah. He's not been noodled.
He's not noodling this year, folks.
No noodling this year.
So
I would be very fucking pissed if I were a Boston Celtics hater that like this is like a classic Celtics get away with it.
Demonic.
Yeah.
Demonic. I mean, I got a little bit of a taste of it with a player that I might take later in Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, man, this feels really good that he was bad for us last year when we needed to keep our pick. And now he comes back this year and he's still Andre Drummond,
Right.
But he looks like if we didn't have him, we would be fucked, is what I'm trying to say. But to have Al Horford go to one of your most hated rivals, the Sixers, and have him completely shit it on a max contract to the point where the Sixers have to pay to get off the contract.
Yeah.
And then to have him come back, win a championship with your team, get to the finals.
On the same contract that he signed with them. Yeah.
Well, they made the finals, but I think that the second contract was the
good one. Yeah. I'm just saying when they got him back, they basically swapped him for a very bad Kemba Walker contract where he was,
and the pick that became Şengün. That was not nothing.
That is true.
But also the average 16th pick in the draft is not Alperen Şengün.
Yeah,
like normally, and by the way, the team that got that pick traded it, so it's not like they even benefited from the trade. Houston was the beneficiary of that trade, and I only know this because Bill would bitch about it. Because remember, you had back-to-back trades where you had Desmond Bane and Alperen Şengün with your picks, and everyone was upset over that. And then it was like because they had their weird little year where they weren't that good, and then it was like let's freak out about everything, and then they immediately turned it around.
The Bane one was more understandable because like everyone, it was like Maxey where like everyone knew that guy was good, and like and the fact is that we did it for, it's one thing to do it to get Al Horford and dump the Kemba Walker contract in one day because he was really good for us. You know what I'm saying? That was the other one. We didn't have Desmond Bane because we needed to sign Enes Kanter for 1 year. That's like a very different.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
That's a very different thing to be mad about. But anyway,
but Al Horford is cooked. I believe it was just announced that he's out with an injury too. They already weren't playing him on back-to-backs. He didn't sign until literally the last second possible because of the Jonathan Kuminga thing. That might be playing a little bit of a factor into this. I don't know if you remember this, but we did this exercise 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Al was one of the guys on our list where he started really slow and we were like, is this it for him? But it was not this bad. I went back and looked and was like, no, it is not like as poorly as he has played so far for a team that, look, when they signed him, I was like, look, he's really old, but like, man, if there's any team that he could work on at this age, it's the Warriors, right? Where it's like a lot of ball movement. All they need him to do is take open threes and occasionally guard bigs and massive wings. And now he is shooting 34% from the field, 32% from three. Large majority of his shots are coming from three, and he's not making them, so that's probably making it look a little worse. But he's shooting 40% on his two-pointers right now.
Jeez.
He is averaging 5.8 points, 4.3 rebounds, 1.8 assists. He's basically making no real impact on this team in a way that is kind of it's mainly the offense that has just completely tanked, and while the Warriors don't necessarily need him throughout a whole season, like actually very funny, Quentin Post has kind of low-key been one of like their 5 best players to start this year.
Let's go.
And Quentin Post was someone that is basically what they wanted Al Horford to do.
Yes.
Like make open threes, play good defense. And that's kind of what will probably end up getting him. The Warriors tend to do this every once in a while where they get a young guy that just fills a role for them. And the league is just like, fine. I don't know if that is something that is super sustainable, to be clear, because we've seen like pods fall off a little bit. Trey Jackson-Davis doesn't even play for them anymore. Now Will Richard and Quentin Post are the new fun toy. And are we going to play with them forever? I don't know. But Al is just, I mean, when you watch, he just looks like he's moving in molasses compared to before. And he can't do anything. This is incredible. Steph and Al Horford together are a negative 17.6 net rating. Steph with no Al Horford is 11.8 net rating, which is actually funny to me because I wonder, I talked about this a little bit. It's really hard to figure out what the Warriors need on this team because basically what happens is it's hard for them to get like they need more size, right? That's kind of been their thing.
I mean,
last years.
yeah, it's the Warriors in the last 3 years. They just
because
have
like
no size, yeah.
the league has adjusted to the era when Steph and small ball dominated, and they're not quite as consistent anymore. And they don't have the depth of talent they had during the KD years. So the point that I'm trying to get at here is more like it's hard. It's always been hard for them because it's like, all right, well, what are you going to trade for like a traditional big? And then like you're playing Jimmy, Draymond, and a traditional big together. And then like ultimately what happens with them? I think what they should do is they should just say fuck it and try to go get an athletic wing, because this Horford thing is very clearly not working out for them. And the thing that they've missed the most over the last few years was when Wiggins was still really good for them. When Wiggins was like, could guard the best player on the other team, would give you buckets on the other end, and just kind of be like a release valve for them. And now they like wanted Kuminga to be that. And I don't know if you saw this today, but they were hoping that Kuminga could practice. And he was like, no, my knee still hurts, even though all of his imaging came back clean. And I was like, I have a feeling that his knee is going to be hurting until January 15th, 2026, which is the exact day he can be traded. But this Horford thing not working out for them is actually like kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Then not only do they send him for this year, he's a player option for next year.
I think he's going to be picking that one up.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I think that the Horford, that they took very few like risks with their signings this offseason. They played it safe by getting Horford.
Yeah.
And also bringing back Melton off the ACL. I guess that was a little bit of a risk, but it was a vet min move. And, you know, like, I don't know. This West is just super good. It's super deep, and they clearly have a lot of issues and will probably just be floating around that play-in range until they can kind of figure out what lineups work for them, or they can acquire someone else with that Kuminga contract.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and this is the danger with building your team old, you know, like you just
second straight year. We've seen this Sixers last year.
Yeah.
Clippers and Warriors this year. It's a young man's game now.
Yeah. You can't really do that anymore. Like, to be totally honest. So I don't know.
By the way, before you make your pick,
mm-hmm.
It is very funny that after years of fans just every fan solution, I include myself in this. I'm not saying that I'm innocent to this, but anytime the team is playing like shit, it's always like, we'll just play the young guys.
Yeah.
And now that's like kind of a solution.
It honestly, it always like kind of has been. You just don't play like, the thing is, you have to like try out all your young guys. Cause I think where you run into trouble with that is when you're trying to play guys who just do not have it. Like if you're the Bucks trying to play Jordan Nwora or like Marjon Beauchamp, or these guys who are just, they suck. You know what I'm saying? Like what you
I can't imagine my coach just falling in love with a young player on the team and being like, yes, he's the worst player on the team, worst defender on the team. But what if I put him on Donovan Mitchell and James Harden? Wouldn't that be insane? Anyway,
yeah, it would be very, very interesting. If
least valuable player in the NBA, Justin Edwards. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Well, don't worry. The Luka Garza stats are he's probably right behind Justin Edwards in terms of impact stats. Like
Luka Garza is 26 though. He's not even a young player. He's like in his prime.
So that's what I'm saying. He's still fucking playing him every game.
By the way, I actually do. You want to guess who the three worst players in the NBA are based on impact metrics? Justin Edwards is obviously one of them.
Yeah, Justin Edwards is definitely one. It's sounding like Disgrace might have pulled himself out of there because he was.
He's not. He was in BPM, but there was most impact metrics don't even they kind of, I feel like they grade rookies on a curve almost.
Okay.
Where it's like but I'm talking like these guys are all not rookies.
Okay. Is Kentavious Caldwell Pope one of them?
No, he's down there though. He's definitely he's someone who's not. So the three worst players in the NBA according to Crafted's BPM, which and they're in the bottom of every impact metric so far, are Jordan Hawkins of the Pelicans, who, by the way, I don't know if you've seen Con Knippel's like Khan's making the most threes of any rookie.
Yeah, and Jordan Hawkins on like all those lists.
I'm like, what happened to this? Like, I
liked him. Kind of.
I was not a fan of Jordan Hawkins at all, but I figured he could settle into like bench shooter role after his rookie year. I was like to me, he was just a player. He's a player from the past. Like, he would have been great in 2016. I just don't think that
you were early on this. The unitasker shooter being
that was like that moved out like a few years ago, and I feel like the league's finally caught up to it. But the thing I want to say about Hawkins is that Hawkins was at least making shots early. Like, now he doesn't make shots. He still plays for the Pelicans. And I don't know why they picked up his option for next year. But the other player who was actually ranked the worst, it's fairly obvious if you think about it. It's another wing on the Jazz. And that is Cody Williams.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Cody Williams' stats every Jazz game last year.
I was going to say, every Jazz game I watched, he must have been hurt, because I was watching a lot of the Jazz like early in the year, and he like didn't play. So I didn't like have in my head, he like wasn't in the rotation.
No, so, Will Hardy's been playing him recently, and I need an investigation done on that organization.
Yeah,
because if your goal is to win games, Cody Williams should never see the floor. And their fans are freaking out about it, and I'm like, this is a good thing though for you, because you have a top 8 protected pick owed to OKC.
Speaking of the Jazz, I might select a guy for not watched later on the Jazz, but we'll see. We'll go back there. But I'll go to washed first. We were talking about the Warriors. This is not particularly new, but it seems to have sunk to new levels this year. And unfortunately, because I like him as a guy, and this is not going to hurt his feelings because he's doing very well off the court. But Klay Thompson has been. It might be over.
Another player that 2 years ago, when he was still on the Warriors, we had on this list of let's keep an eye on this.
Yeah,
and it's Jover, but he's winning at life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, look, if you have Meg the Stallion posting like gushing like videos about how much she loves you, like, you don't got to worry about you're not gonna worry about your job through the NBA or anything like that. So like, I don't blame Klay for being like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm just gonna show up and do whatever. Like, I wouldn't be locked in either. Like, but I mean, he's down to 34%. You know, and it's not like he hasn't played games
in the field.
34% from the field right now. 32% from three. Like,
certainly on a team that could use a shooter as well. Like, they don't have a lot of guys that are great shooters on that team.
They really don't. They really don't, and they need that. And like, I'm not going to pretend like I've watched a ton of Mavericks, but it's not like the shot quality he's getting is like bad from what I've seen. It looks like they're not exactly. He's not exactly a threat these days.
It's very funny because I literally just watched the Grizzlies game. I've watched a few of their games, but I just watched the Grizzlies game the other night, and then he fought with Ja after the game. I don't know if you saw that, but
no.
Wait, you didn't see this?
No, I missed that.
Oh my God, come on. So he ends up getting into it with Ja after the game because Ja basically said, so this is the Grizzlies fans, what they're saying, because Cam Spencer went off at the end of that game. I don't know if you've ever watched Cam Spencer, but he's literally the greatest shooter no one ever talks about, where I'm like, bro, I swear I've never seen this guy miss. Like, he makes every fucking shot. It's crazy. And so I watched that game. He catches fire at the end of the game. He ends up winning the game for the Grizzlies. Okay. So in his post-game interview, Ja comes up to Spencer and says, who's the best shooter in the house? Not that guy from Golden State. I think Golden State fans have said that's about Klay because he played for whatever, and Grizzlies fans are trying to say that it's actually about his brother Pat, who plays on the Warriors. But I'm also like, why would Ja give a fuck about that?
Yeah, no.
Like, he's very clearly trying to take shots at Klay, right? Like, I was kind of confused as to what he was saying, but the more that I talk this out and think about it, like, he very obviously was taking shots at Klay, and and Klay apparently were talking shit to each other after the game. So, and now people have made this into like a generational war thing where they're like, oh, the Zoomer in street clothes telling the millennial who's working that he's not doing a good job. And I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. You know me.
So
You know I love a good generational divide
yeah.
here. I love a good generational war, but
Zoomers and millennials are fucking the Spider-Man meme, dude.
especially old, like he's 26. He's not like 21. Like there's not like
yeah.
a ton of difference.
I really don't think like Zoomers and like millennials are like very different. Like I think they're a much more culturally similar than like we were to Gen X. Maybe I'm just old, but I don't know. I don't see that as being very different. But anyway, Klay sucks now. Like the defense left him a while ago. He's like an abomination now. Like he can't stay in front of anyone.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
I'm sorry, I was laughing at this. Sam saying I haven't watched a lot of Mavericks after saying he was most excited to watch them color me
I considered taking Choker Thug with the number one pick in this draft for being the worst, washed at age 19.
Well, first off, he's 18 still, so
well, that's what I'm saying. Before his 19th birthday,
you don't see all the new stats that come out every day that he's had. It's very funny. By the way, I've thought Flags looked better recently. Like I've watched a few of their games.
I'm leaning into the bit. Like I'm
sure, sure. But I was watching this game.
Yeah.
And I was and in that Grizzlies game, he didn't play that great. In the Pelicans game the night before, he played really well.
Yeah.
Which might speak to the Pelicans defense a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's been better. He's been a lot better recently. And every day we get a new stat that's like Cooper Flag is the first 18-year-old since LeBron to do this, and I'm like, isn't he just the first 18-year-old to play NBA games? like how many? I feel like Jalen Durant came into the league and then instantly turned 19, and other than that, we've really only had maybe a few foreign players.
Yeah, it's like
here and there.
He's the first player to do this since Amir Johnson. Well, he was the last guy to come directly from high school. So yeah, that makes
I'm
sense.
Like, it just doesn't really happen all that often. Flag just happens to be super young for coming into the NBA at the time that he did. But the Klay thing's really sad. The Mavericks are a mess. He's been trending this way for a while, but this is kind of his Chris Paul year where he just finally falls off the cliff. It feels like.
I guess the thing I want to underline is like they need him so badly, and like he should be like even in his washed form. Like if he had anything, he should be able to kind of buoy them, and he just has fucking nothing. Like he has nothing for them. Like he's turbo done. So.
Yeah, I watched that. It was very funny. I watched his best scoring game of the season, which was that game against Memphis the other night. He went 7 for 17. He had 22 points. But other than that, just before, 2 of 9 for 5 points, 13 points, 5 of 11, 7 points, 3 of 9. The one thing I will say, and I still think we're never going to see anything close to Golden State Klay ever again, especially because he had both of those injuries back to back and all that. But I will say that, like, he really doesn't get in the games where he doesn't play well. He doesn't get a ton of minutes. In the games that he at least scores more efficiently from the field, he plays a decent amount of minutes. So I do wonder with shooters, like, if it's more of a rhythm thing than anything else, where it's like, got to get a few shots up, but also like, are you really sacrificing, the parts of your season when you're trying to compete for, like, they haven't thrown in the towel yet. Are you really going to do that to get 35-year-old Klay Thompson, going early in a game? Like, it doesn't really make any sense. I've been trying to think of, there are two things I just wanted to talk about real quick with the Mavericks. The first is there any team that would trade for Klay? Because he has 2 years left on his deal. And my mind always goes to the Sacramento Kings.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Kings are the one. I was going to say the Nets would take him like 4 picks, but like,
and then he gets bought out.
Yeah, but then the Mavericks like don't have really anything to give there. So
he makes $17 million next year. There's no one taking that contract unless it is literally even if you got seconds. Like, I think they're just gonna have to ride that one out or buy him out.
They should just ride it out. They suck anyway. Like they're gonna trade AD. Like why would you not ride it out? Like, it doesn't make any sense to, they're going to suck no matter what. So,
the random Klay game where he goes off. I do just want to say Klay kind of got the shit end of the stick here because he signed with the Mavericks because he wanted to play with Luka over the Lakers.
Yeah.
And then they traded Luka to the Lakers. That's so shitty.
I mean, I do think he did kind of like duck, like he didn't end up in the bright lights. Like, he could be diarrheaing all over himself, like in a very like high leverage
Sure,
situation.
no
Which
one
I think,
cares. Yeah.
that's what I'm
I think
saying.
it's
Like,
good for the Mavericks.
and I think I would argue that he got kind of lucky, because if he was doing this like for the Warriors or for the Lakers or like some of these other, or if the Mavs still had Luka, like everyone would be like looking at it. But like right now, everyone's like me, like, wow, Meg the Stallion, nice job, dude.
It's true. Yeah. He can still
yeah.
continue to just ride on being the cool meme man.
Yeah, exactly. So,
all right. So I'm picking this player mainly due to the fact that I was wrong about what stage of the career that they're at. Now, they are injured right now, but for the not wash. Oh, I didn't finish my. All right.
go back.
House
Let's go.
challenge trade.
Okay.
Anthony Davis for Karl Anthony Towns. Who says no?
I saw this getting kicked around in our chat. It's interesting. It's certainly on brand for the Bulls. I will say that. Yeah.
Karl
sorry,
Anthony
not the Bulls.
Towns
I
is on
mean,
the
sorry,
Bulls?
for the Knicks. No, sorry. For the Knicks. I mean, certainly on brand for the Knicks.
The old Knicks or the new Knicks?
The Knicks as a by and large franchise. Well, then that was going to be my argument, is I think that they're a little too smart for this. Because here's the thing, like, based on what we saw out of Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs last year, like, isn't he kind of the Anthony Davis we have at home? Like, we have Anthony Davis at home a little bit.
I mean, there's no, but it's I see what you're saying. Do you think that it's just incompatible for those two to play as a front court?
I mean, I think that. I mean, that's
what I would care about more.
Not the offensive player. I more mean like we have the injured center who is a pretty big impact guy and a great. I get what, like, I guess it's not a good 1-to-1 because like Mitchell Robinson's like a offensive rebound machine and like Anthony Davis is just kind of like a defensive thing. But like I feel like I know Knicks fans like hate Cat, and like Cat seems to kind of wear out his welcome wherever he goes for like being soft and drives everyone insane. I don't think that would help the Knicks. I think that like the things that Anthony Davis is good at, they have a lot of. Like they have a lot of mid-range scoring with Jalen Brunson. They have plus rebounders at a lot of their positions. Like they don't really. I mean, Cat is a good rebounder, but like they don't really. What would Anthony Davis like really? I guess he would make their defense better, but like
if you told me that Anthony Davis was available and normal for 2 months, I would do it. But also I understand that is just something you can't guarantee. And when you have Mitchell Robinson as your other big, you almost can't do it. Like the risk profile with that is like crazy high because it literally is like, all right, Yabu and Ariel Huck-Porty are now our big rotation and we are dead on arrival in the playoffs. Karl Anthony Towns has been very healthy since he got to the Knicks. And look, they might be able to make the finals anyway, even with some of his limitations, right? So I look at Karl Anthony Towns as someone who probably is good enough in this Eastern Conference to still get you to the finals. And the odds of you beating the Western Conference finals team is probably not super high unless you get some injury luck on the other side anyway. So ultimately I probably wouldn't do the dice roll, but I think with a healthy AD, their ceiling would be higher, but I think the floor dropping out is too much of a risk.
I also just think Cat is like, I don't know. I think Cat gets like a little bit overhated. Like I think like the ways he flames out are like very loud. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a way that's like easy to like for everyone to like get mad at. But I think he's like at the end of the day, he is like probably one of the best big man shooters of all time. Like quite frankly, and I understand that like
he's not a big man. Cat is a big wing. Like treating him like he's a big man. Now look, the rebounding
he rebounds
well, sure. I'm not. All I'm saying is that normally Karl Anthony Towns teams run into a team that has elite guard play, and he gets played off the court. But the good news is that in the Eastern Conference this year, you might be able to avoid a Pacers or Mavericks style team that he has struggled with defensively when you get to those matchups. And you are at least good enough to make the conference finals, if not the finals with him. It's probably worth it just to ride this thing out. And then and also, I know that you might think they're delusional. I don't think they're probably making that trade if they think there's any chance Giannis has out in the next year.
Yeah.
And they probably wouldn't even be able to get Giannis, but if there's a 5% chance they can get Giannis, they're not going to make because they just did that. And they might be regretting a little bit of like some all-in stuff if Giannis is available. But the long and short of this is that I think that your floor is so high with Karl Anthony Towns, even if I think that it might limit your ceiling a little bit. Like, I personally have a hard time seeing a team win a championship with Karl Anthony Towns on it. Not that he isn't a really good player. I have a hard time seeing a Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns duo getting to a point where they can win that championship defensively. Having said that, I don't know what stage of Anthony Davis's career he's at either. Like, I think his defense low-key kind of fell off. And like, yes, if you can get him healthy for 2 to 3 months, right, you'd feel great. But like, when was the last time Anthony Davis was healthy for 2 to 3 months? Literally just last year on the Lakers. And then other than that, it's been probably since, I think, the bubble year, or maybe the Western Conference Finals run in 2022. Like, it's been so long. You know what I mean?
I will say I would 100% do that if I were the Mavericks, though. Because I don't give a shit about the money. I don't give a shit about the money, and I think it would help Flag develop. And I think that Lively Flag Cat front court makes a lot of sense.
It's really funny because I posted this on both the Mavericks and the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
For SB Nation, I posted the question on both
of
their pages, and both fan bases said no. So far, there was only a few people that had commented, but I think there is this idea that Cat has everything you talked about, right, around the league, especially with fan bases.
Yeah.
But if he is on your team with your developing young players, I think he could help because of the spacing element for sure.
They just don't have like talent, and like by the time that contract is like bad, I don't know. You have time, you know what I'm saying, to figure it out. I think giving Cooper Flag a little bit of spacing to develop and kind of figure some of this stuff out, and you have some defensive infrastructure around him. I mean, you have Gafford, he can be a full-time power forward on your team. Unlike Anthony Davis. So, you know, like Will was making fun of me for saying that Cat has worn out his welcome, but he's only been traded one time. But like, I'm sorry, I've seen Wolves fans bitching about him for
I think it's more fans than anything. Like, fans very quickly are over the Karl Anthony Towns experience because of the way that it looks. More so than anything else. And the inconsistencies and the fact that, like, when you see Karl Anthony Towns locked in, he's so talented and good at basketball that you get frustrated with some of the the lapses in judgment and that kind of shit. So
isn't that Timmy news, or was that a 10-day? I thought that news was old.
Yeah, Drew Timmy signed with the Lakers yesterday. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's old because
why are we even addressing this? Who cares?
Because it's big for Gonzaga, Rui and Drew Timmy together.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Jalen Suggs trade demand to the Lakers soon.
Yes.
But the player that
let's get everybody in.
All right, enough. The player that I wanted to select with my next pick.
We're still doing washed. Like,
no, this is not washed.
Okay, not washed.
We just finished we did
a wash
four
section.
Players. Now we're back to not washed.
Okay.
Is a player that was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers in 2009. Cannot believe he's still going. Jrue Holiday, a player that I slandered and did not even include on my top 100 players in the NBA, has very clearly been one of the 100 best players in the NBA. Once again, he is injured right now, but who isn't injured in the league right now? Old, young, doesn't matter. Seems like the whole league is out with some sort of injury. He's missed the last 5 games. But before he did get injured, in the 12 games before that, he was averaging 17 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. And if I remember correctly, I think that their team started to kind of go off the rails after he got hurt a little bit. So he's shooting that on 45, 36, 84 splits. And the thing, not only is Jrue, the thing that has surprised me the most with Jrue this year is that I saw a list, because I expected this version of Jrue to just be like role player Lou Dort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, shoot threes, pass the ball to the better players, play defense. He is still like somewhat of a creator. He's creating for himself. He's creating for others. I saw a stat that he was third in the NBA in rim assists per game, which, as you know, is one of the most valuable kind of assists that you can create. Jokic leads the league every year, but Jrue was third in the league. I think it went Jokic. If I remember correctly, I think it went Jokic, Cade, and then Jrue for rim assist leaders this year, which is just an incredibly valuable kind of assist and something that defenses are aiming to stop. And when he has played, they've gotten way more of those throughout the season than when he doesn't play. Jrue is definitely beating the allegations, because I thought he started to really look like he was falling off a cliff last year. And then he came back this year with some fresh legs, has been massively important to Portland, and still has got it at 35. I think he's 35. I think me and Jrue are the same age. I remember when he was drafted, another player who was 18 when he was drafted, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, I mean, the 09 draft, Harden, Jrue, Steph, still holding on somehow. It's crazy.
Demon Cronin takes Simple Sap Brad Stevens to the cleaners yet again. Second time. Yeah, second time.
What was the other trade?
The Jrue Holiday trade.
The first one?
The first one.
I would say that the Celtics worked out pretty well for them.
As a value proposition, I don't know.
What's the argument for the Blazers winning that trade? Robert Williams and
they got him. They got him right back. They didn't even need him. Like they got him back a year later.
First off, 2 years. The Celtics won the NBA Finals in that span.
Okay, great. But the Blazers came out on top as far as like values propositions. Championships don't matter. It's all about who wins the draft, who has more draft picks, who does everything.
Which is why you love Sam Presti.
I've always said that he's my favorite guy. I think it's so awesome that Jalen Williams, who very obviously should be getting a 35-year max, is now going to get a 25-year % max because they shot him in the offseason. They hit him with the Havana syndrome gun to rob him of money. Jalen, I will represent you, by the way.
By the way, I don't know. People have said, "Oh man, Chet winning Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to get that Rose Rule max." Nope. If you actually read that contract.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Will is helping me out here. They used Brogdon to get Denny. So
I was gonna say, and they also used the pick that they got from that trade to get Denny as well.
That's right. Who would you rather have right now, Denny Avdia or Jrue Holiday?
I'll stick with Jrue.
Okay,
I'm good.
All right. Yeah,
I'd rather have Jrue Holiday on my team personally.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, all right.
No, the thing I was going to say about OKC is that people have said, "Oh, well, Chet making all defense or winning Defensive Player of the Year this year could actually make it so his contract is much better." Nope. Look into the details of his contract. That is specifically not written in there. So neither of them are going to get the 30-something% max. They're both going to get 25% maxes, which means the party's not stopping.
Sam Presti gave them the Motown contract. He fucking Barry Gordy'd them, dude. Like, this is so fucked up. Like, evil man, one of our most evil men, who lives in this town. Yeah, but no, Jrue like looked bad. I kind of had a feeling. You gave me a little shit for putting him in the top 100.
I did. That's why I said I chose him, because I was apologizing, because he's very good and one of the best 100 players in the NBA this year.
I kind of thought Jrue, when he was like a little bit more like, he had a little bit more, he's not really necessarily been heliocentric, but like when he didn't have to like fit into like a role as specifically, I thought he would, kind of.
Also, if we want to revisit the top 100 list, you put Yabu in there and then laughed at me for putting Walker Kessler. So
that is true. And I do. Okay. Hold on. Now, just because you won more, Walker Kessler is also injured season. So yeah,
you saw that coming.
So
if you sort by VORP,
do rate stats or non-rate stats, I should say. Yeah, let's go.
All right, you're up. Not washed.
This is our not washed guys. Fuck, where's my list? Fuck. Oh no, I remember what I was gonna do here. Am I gonna? No. Well, I'll save the spicy one. I do think we have to talk about Kevin Durant. And this might be a little bit of a controversial one because Kevin Durant is clearly not as good. But that said, I do think that he is I guess he's probably not the best player with Şengün, but he's very close. He might be one of the more important players on their team for one of the only teams. I think there's only 3 teams that can win the championship this year. I'm going to be totally honest. Like, barring some sort of crazy injury thing, I think OKC, Houston, and Denver are the only teams that really have a shot. And Durant has been like kind of like important to them. I think you and I both kind of looked at taking a mulligan once Fred VanVleet went down. We thought Houston was going to kind of be bad, and they've just been awesome. I think a huge part of that has been Şengün, but I also think like Durant has, like he's obviously the consistency. What we were talking about when we did the Steph thing, like the every night thing is not there. Like he's got times when he can still go there with the defense and he can still kind of like phase into the different parts of his game. He's mostly out there like getting buckets, but it's also like still very like timely. And you forget. I mean, he's pretty old. He's my age, and
he's older than you, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. He's like a year older. He's more.
He's 37, right?
He's 37. Yeah, he's a little bit older than me, and he's like exactly a year older than me. But he's still like one of the greatest scorers of all time, and it doesn't.
I do not forget, to be clear.
Yes, yeah,
You were going to say you forget. I do not forget that Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers.
I kind of thought it might be like over. I guess maybe I might be grading him a little bit on a curve because I kind of thought it would look a little bit more rough at times. I kind of thought that he was getting a little bit old. I kind of thought that his son's numbers from last year were like a little bit Mickey Mouse, like, and it was kind of some stat filling on like a bad team. He's been great on a very good team, which very much like changes, he's still got it, man. And, I think it would be very,
I wouldn't say he's is this the player you were talking about could be a top 10 player? Cause I don't think he is anymore.
I don't think he probably isn't, but like,
if you actually list out the players,
I guess
the top 10 players in the NBA, he's not in it. He's very clearly in that like second group down. Like, I think like, if you were, so for example, like, let's just say off the top of our head, the top 5 players in the NBA are SGA, Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Wemby.
Yeah, that's probably it right there. Yeah.
Like, I would argue that Cade's been better than him this year. Maxi's been better than him this year. Harden's been better than him this year. Steph's been better than him this year. You're already at 9.
Yeah.
So Donovan Mitchell's certainly been better than him this year. So I would probably say he's outside of the top 10. But just from a pure bucket getting standpoint, yeah, I mean, he's still him when it comes to getting. I mean, he is legitimately just a 7-foot combo guard at this point. He's very good when he has it going, though. I mean, we talked about a little bit that Magic game that happened a week ago where he was just, everyone knew it was coming and they couldn't do anything to stop it. He was getting to his spots. He was just nailing shots over and over again down the stretch of that game. I will say this year, when I've watched, and I think that Rockets fans have pointed this out too, the handle and the passing look a little bit worse as he's gotten older. Like, guys can get into his handle. He loses the ball a little bit more. His passing and decision-making isn't quite at the level it was when he was at his peak in terms of like, I don't think that teams worry all that much about him as a scorer relative to, even though he still is that guy. Like, they're not pulling out all the stops just to stop Kevin Durant anymore like they used to. A lot of it is just one-on-one scoring. It feels like maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. This is just gut feeling when I watch them. But he still is that guy in isolation. He still is that guy at generating his own offense and getting buckets. Yeah. And that's kind of the main thing that this Rockets team needed. They just needed someone who can basically get them buckets in the half court. They cover up for his weaknesses. He covers up for their weaknesses. Honestly, if you were to list out like their 3 or 4 best players this year, he's certainly in the top 3. I can't believe how good Reed's been this year, dude. Like,
it's kind of crazy considering like the stinker. I mean, everyone puts up a stinker against OKC, but like that opening night, everyone was like, "Oh no!"
Khan's been great for 2 weeks, and he played like shit against OKC. Like
Yeah.
they are
Everyone-
just the team that makes everyone look stupid and bad, even though they're especially doughy, unathletic white boys.
Can we have a quick sidebar about OKC and their defense, real quick?
No, I don't care about their schedule. So
It's been real. Come on, man.
I do not care. I literally don't care at all.
I'm not saying they're. I'm not
stop doing
saying
the
they're.
Japanese Thunder thing.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying they're not title contenders. I'm not saying they're even not the presumptive favorites. I'm just saying like it is ridiculous how much.
I saw your Japanese Thunder posting earlier today.
I'm just look at the winning percentage from like everyone out. Like it's like by 40 points. Like the 29th team. It's crazy, and they're in the West. I don't know. I'm just saying.
The great teams just destroy bad teams, and that's what they've done so far this year.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. They've also played the Kings 3 times.
I understand. I'm just saying I don't think that any of that stuff. Now look, they're also doing this stretch without their second best player. like if they were full strength and they were not dominating and destroying these teams, I would be like, all right, I can't care about anything OKC does until outside of the big games, which even though they were closer, they did win the one big game that they played this year. And it was the opening game against this Houston team, funny enough, went to double overtime. But I don't care. I just think that this team plays so well together. They're so connected on each side of the court. Shea's having a season that is so like, if he can shoot threes now, I'm just like, all right, well, like that was his weakness. His main weakness, like you could talk about the passing and playmaking, and yes, he is not a great passer or playmaker for someone that has the ball as much as he does. Certainly not by, heliocentric terms or whatever.
Yeah.
But the 3-point shooting was like, well, just force him to take that step back. And now he's starting the year making 40% of those. I don't expect that to continue, but if he's just like not a bad 3-point shooter, then he's the best 3-level scorer in the NBA.
The reason they're probably going to repeat is because this is the year to have the number 1 seed. Like they're not going to have to play one of Houston or Denver.
The drop off is pretty massive once you get down a little bit further down those stands.
And they're a team that just farms regular season wins. Like I would not be shocked if they won 70 games this year. To be totally honest. Yeah.
And they're also like the 4-5 in the West are probably going to be 2 pretty decent teams, and they're just going to have to kill each other for the right to play OKC. And OKC's probably going to get some rest because they'll probably destroy whoever the 8 seed is. Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens this season with them, though. Like when J-Dub comes back, do they just like literally turn into, fucking Decepticons and just run through the league, or do they take their foot off the gas at any point? It will definitely be something worth keeping an eye on. But
I think just like last season, I think they're going to drift back a little bit, like in the playoffs. But like, I think that the fact that they now have won a championship settles them down enough, and the fact that they're going to have the number 1 seed, like almost certainly, like it's way more of a foregone conclusion this year. I think that they win than the one in previous years. So
SGA has already sat 75% as many fourth quarters as Steph did all of 15-16. This is the same stat that happened literally right before Embiid got hurt. He's having the same season Embiid had when the Sixers were just destroying teams, and then his body fell apart, which is very unfortunate. But the level of scoring that SGA has been at this year is like, in any other year he would be running away with MVP, but Jokic exists. So it's like, what can you do when maybe the best offensive player we've ever seen is also playing in your conference? But that's going to be a fun debate for the 3rd straight year.
Wemby, come back. We need you.
I don't think Wemby's not
for MVP, for beating the Thunder.
Yeah, I don't think the Spurs have a chance this year.
No, they don't have a chance, but they can make the 1-4 matchup not a dog walk. I think
Spurs are good though. Even without Wemby, I've been very impressed with how competitive they are. Like, those guys really give a shit. By the way, before we move on to our wash section, give a quick shout to Harrison, Lakers Harrison, my boss. He said, "Here's a Unk Still Got It nominee. Bill Simmons calling the CP3 trade veto a top 2 sliding doors moment of the last 15 years.
Did you speaking of, did you see Bill's like conspiracy, his bizarre conspiracy thing where he like he seemed to be going out of order for like what he thought was like most likely on the scale. Like I thought he was doing it like in ascending order, but then he said the one he started with, he said like definitely happened, and then he's like ended with the frozen envelope, which he like also said definitely happened, which is very funny.
Yeah, Bill is a big believer in the frozen envelope.
Yes, like
Bill's always stood on the ground there. He's always been that the Knicks needed a star and they gifted them Patrick Ewing, which the league would never do with his favorite team ever.
No, he would never. They would never do that.
The Celtics.
I would also say that Bill is correct that if you want to like that, he attributes most of the conspiracies to David Stern.
Sure,
which is probably true. Yeah. Yeah, that's why the NBA was good, because David Stern would put his thumb on the scale. Adam Silver, you have abdicated. You're in the pocket of big gambling. Everything needs to be random and have parity, so the gambling companies can win. So
sad to see Sam talking about Reagan versus Obama on the podcast. The Colin Cowherd podcast really got to you, didn't it? It infected your brain.
Reagan versus. I think Stern is more of an LBJ than a Reagan type figure.
Whatever, sure.
Because he didn't make everything bad. Well, LBJ did make things bad too. I mean, it's hard to find a president who didn't make things worse. You gotta go.
Presidents are evil.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta go back to like FDR, and then before that, you gotta go to like fucking Lincoln before you get a president who didn't ruin everything. So
everything just gets worse forever. Anyway,
this
guy's washed. The guy that's our same age, literally throw him out of the league.
He stinks.
By the way, I had a few guys in the TBD column. Do you want to hear the few guys I had in the TBD column?
Can I guess?
Yes.
For one of the TBD kind of guys, did you have? Because I thought about picking him. Did you have Kelly Olynyk on this list?
No, not Kelly Olynyk.
Did you have DeAndre Jordan on this list?
DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah. The important culture guy for the New Orleans Pelicans.
You think he's just not bringing enough like pizzazz in the locker room?
I don't think I've watched some. I mean, he also kind of went off against us. So
this is you literally watch one half of him playing decent, and you're 3 weeks ago, and you're bringing this up.
Yes, I think he's still got it. Now look,
he definitively does not have it. He hasn't had it in like 5 years.
I know. Look, he has a negative 3.2 defensive BPM. I understand this. But also defensive PPM, as we've talked about, is Fugazi. It's not real. Yes. So I'm gonna go with my eyes with what I saw.
Sure.
For DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan still passes the eye test as long as he's playing the Celtics, probably when they were on the second half of a back-to-back.
Yes, I think we were actually. I was in the airport watching that, and that
was his first game that he has played in like 8 months.
Yeah. I think it was literally his first game since coming back.
Did not have him on the list. Incredible content, though.
Were you gonna say Mike Conley? Who's a real guest now?
No, I didn't say Conley because I just kind of in my mind Conley's kind of been washed. Like, he's still somewhat effective some nights, but it's just it's never. To me, there are a few guys that are like on the borderline where I'm like, all right, let's see how really washed they are, or if they can still be somewhat effective. You know what I mean? Conley probably does fall into that. Like, I would lean more towards like Conley's washed because like the way they talk about him is like he's already a coach on the team, Kyle Lowry style. Yeah. It's like they're like, oh, he's great for the locker room, and like, dude, he still has to play for them sometimes.
Every time I watch the Sixers, I think it's so funny that Kyle Lowry is in uniform. Like it's bro, give that man a suit and tie. You don't have to act like he's gonna tap into the game. Like,
it's insane. It's insane because I'm watching these games and I'm like, why are we wasting a roster spot on fucking Kyle Lowry when we literally are playing multiple of the worst players in the NBA.
Just
every
give him a
night.
coaching spot. Just give him a fucking coaching spot. Like he can still take a check from the team. Like
there's no way that we can't just go sign Charles Bassey and have him be literally, if he plays 10 minutes every 2 weeks, it would be a better use of a roster spot. I don't know if you, I did this the other day and I said, is Charles Bassey, who by the way, I've always had a soft spot for because we drafted him and he had like 2 good games for us. Yeah. But, is he just like the worst person that's ever lived? Why can't this guy stay on a team? Here are his per 36 we talk about rebounding being important nowadays, right? Like teams like really like going all in on rebounding. Yeah. Charles Bassey in his per 36 minutes in his career, rookie year with the Sixers, 13.3, second year with the Spurs, 13.7, 13.3, last year with the Spurs, 14.6. This year with Memphis, I think he's only played in 2 games, Sam. 17.4 rebounds per 36. He's averaging 8 offensive rebounds per 36 this year and 5 per 36 for his career. What is going? How bad is he? Just the worst player ever at every other element of basketball?
Well, now that you've read me that, I would like the Celtics to like
you guys give him a shot. At one point.
Yeah, I would like us to give him a shot again because I'm the Luka Garza minutes are going to turn me into the Joker here.
Bassey's only 25, 24. Like, he's not like, I don't understand what's going on with that. But
this is what he's the exact type of player. Like, he was on the Spurs for a little bit when they were kind of doing their roster. Mm-hmm. Those type of guys, like, if you're a bad team, the Nets aren't really a good example because their bigs are like, okay, like Claxton's good and everything. But like, a team that is like bad.
Pelicans should sign
the Pelicans, yes.
Should sign Jaden Springer. I'm telling you, I watched both Jaden Springer and Charles Bassey play basketball. Charles Bassey might be an NBA player. Jaden Springer was never an NBA player. Like there wasn't a day in the life of Jaden Springer where maybe the one game he made 4 threes against the Hawks. But Charles Bassey like has something there. I don't understand why a team wouldn't just try to sign him.
Jaden Springer is an NBA champion though.
Sure. Mickey Mouse. So glad he got that participation trophy. But the speaking of the players that I wanted to bring up actually are very related to us. It was not Kelly Olynyk, but I had Marcus Smart in my TBD because Marcus Smart defensively has been great for the Lakers. Like he had like a 7 steal game. By the way, I don't know if you saw what I went on the around the horn thing that I did with Tony Reality.
Yes.
I said that they were going to get destroyed by OKC because I don't think they have the perimeter defense to keep up with OKC's perimeter defense where like they're just not going to be able to generate shots. By the way, the Lakers got crushed by OKC that night. Shocker.
Yeah.
Anyway, I said on that episode, I said, look, Marcus Smart can't be your best perimeter defender at this point in his career. I didn't realize in the game before that he had 7 steals and someone commented that on there. And he's actually been pretty good for them defensively from what I understand. But the offense is just
it's
exact opposite. And on a team where your best players are Luka, and Austin Reeves, and LeBron, this old version of LeBron, you obviously need the defensive role players, but like what role does Marcus Smart play for this team on offense is my question.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Will's comment. Marcus Smart getting the Lakers whistles Hitler installed.
That's perfect. Mashed into one. We love to see it.
We do love to see it. I love to hear that. Honestly, I didn't even think about Marcus Smart for this exercise, which is how we know I'm losing my touch. Like, no, he's a good one.
You could make the argument in either direction. You could be like he's beating the Wash allegations because he's helping them defensively, but also offensively he's back like below any, even like he was never an efficient player from the field, but he's back below like 40%. He's not scoring efficiently at all. I saw a Lakers fan say, I'm glad he's doing stuff defensively because every time he shoots a 3, I get Westbrook PTSD. But the other players I had on this list for the 5th straight year, LeBron James.
Yeah.
Is he washed or not?
He's like old LeBron, like this late career, like Lakers LeBron, like post championship is very much the Are you looking at an old woman or a young woman drawing? Is it a duck or a bunny? Like I can't
Is the dress
tell.
blue or
Yeah,
black?
yeah. I can't look at. I don't know. Like it's so hard to tell. Like I guess the answer is probably. But here's the thing: is that washed LeBron James is probably still
A
like a
top
pretty good,
35 player
yeah,
in the NBA.
like a pretty good NBA player.
But specifically for this Lakers team, now look, he's only played 2 games so far.
Yeah.
In the first game, I'll give him, he was coming off sciatica. He's a little rusty.
Yeah.
Still had 12 assists. But he had 11 points on 4 of 7. He's that record. If he has that record been broken yet where he doesn't score in double digits? Because that's coming to an end. The streak I'm talking about, right?
Yes, that he's never scored under.
It's like been like 15,
digits,
20 years since he scored under 10 points or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he did it in a playoff game, but regular season wise, I think that he's still good. He had 11 points in his first game back, Sam, in 30 minutes. So he got pretty close.
I think he's aware. I think he's probably aware of that.
He's definitely
doesn't that seem like something
Yeah.
that LeBron would be
Yeah.
like, JJ, like leave me in until I get 11 points. Like
he had 17, 6, and 8 in their second game. They were playing the Jazz's defense. So just he started slow a little bit the last few years. Put a pin in it. It's interesting. It's something interesting to watch. I don't even know if you could consider Kawhi or Embiid for this because it's just like, yeah, they're probably washed, but also it's just injuries that have taken them out. It's not like for example, like we don't get to see them play on an every night basis. So like, it's hard for me to say whether I think that they're like, I think it's probably Jover for both of them to an extent, but how much of that is actually, at play here because of the injuries. DeMar DeRozan is someone to keep an eye on. Did you see the DeMar DeRozan news today?
I was gonna pick him at some point.
Okay.
So that's how I feel about that.
We'll leave it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that when you pick him. So the other player, I'm putting a pin on it because I had fully written this player off, and everyone told me I wouldn't be shocked if he has a bounce back season. You wouldn't know it if you look at the stats. Paul George might own me this year. He looks
not what I expected.
He does not look like a $50 million a year player, to be clear. Like he's not scoring efficiently from the field right now. He's certainly not the Paul George we thought we were getting when we signed him. The last 2 games.
Are you signing the Apollo people?
I'm not. It's been 2 games. He could get hurt literally right now while he's podcasting, wherever he is right now.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm noticing.
Okay.
In the last 2 games, the Sixers have looked like complete shit, and then Paul George gets them back into the game both times. I'm just like, I cannot believe I might have to sign the apology for him, but for right now, it's TBD. Like he looks way fresher than I've seen him in years. His passing has popped a little bit. His defense looks great. He went 0 for 4 from 3 yesterday, and I still think he had a positive impact on the game.
Do you think you are hostage taken because you've had to watch some of the other wings that
it's possible.
Yes.
Yeah, Jabari Walker and Justin Edwards experience might have like basically poisoned my brain to the point where it's like, oh my God, this is a tall wing who can dribble the ball, shoot, and kind of pass and defend. Like this might be literally prime LeBron in comparison. But I will say I'm noticing is all I'm saying is that. And by the way, I've said I think it's more likely that Paul George finds his form than Embiid just because the nature of Embiid's injury. But I will say I've liked the way Paul George has looked through the first 2 games. He only made me want to kill myself one time watching these games, and he took a fadeaway pull up midi on the break, and I was like, please get this guy off the team. But other than that, he's been fine. Been good.
Do you think that it is because the Eagles lost to the Cowboys and have now lost the Lathe of Heaven, and now that Paul George knows that he will not get trapped in a Eagles parade now that he's playing free and he doesn't have that like hanging over his head anymore. So
he's not anxious. Like, everyone has like one thing that they're anxious about and they lock in at it. My whole life, and I just had this happen, if you want a little weird anxiety that I have. I think it's from the years that we lived in New York. I get really anxious about parking, like finding a place to park.
Yes.
Like being like, I had a friend visit once, and he was like, "Can I park here?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he parked there anyway to get his car towed, and it ruined his night. And he had to pay $400 to get his car back. And ever since then, I've been like, we're not having this happen again. And when I was moving here in Philly, when I was moving from south to west, the streets in South Philly are really like tight. Like it's hard to get around down there. So I was so anxious about being able to get the truck in and out that I was for days, like literally had to go get signs for parking and put them up on my block and post them everywhere so people wouldn't park there. I was like thinking ahead, like this won't happen. We're not getting stuck in here. That might be Paul George's thing. He might just be so anxious about the thought about getting stuck in another Eagles parade that he can play free because he doesn't think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm the same way. I talked to my dad yesterday because I like checked the Westbrook main after November 15th. The parking on street is technically not allowed anymore because of snow removal. Dad's like, well, there's no snow on the ground right now. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It was fine. But, but I was
you worried about it the whole drive up, didn't you?
Yeah. I was scared. I was like, Pop, I kept like looking out the window. I was like that picture of Malcolm X looking out the window. Identical. Malcolm X and I are very similar guys.
Yep. I've always said you two.
Yeah.
You're like kinfolk. So I will get to the player I'm actually going to say.
Okay, go ahead.
It's over for Chris Middleton, unfortunately.
I was going to draft him at some point here.
Man, he looks...
It's tough.
He looks so slow. And, like, it's very clear the ankle injuries just caught up with him. And he's always been someone who hasn't been super athletic, but the fringes of his game were based on just craftiness and being able to, get by with the amount of athleticism and length that he had. And he just does not have that anymore. And he's also someone who's a little bit older than you think. Like he's 34, I think, Chris Middleton. Like he came into the league in 2012, but he was 21 or 22 when he came in the league. So he's someone that you wouldn't put up there with some of these other guys because those other guys have been in the NBA for so long and we've known of them for so long. But yeah, Middleton just turned 34 and he is like, if he got bought out right now, I think that's the only way that another team could acquire him. Like, I think a team might take a flyer on him as like a bench guy if he, but like, I wouldn't be shocked if he has to retire after this year. Maybe he does like a 1-year vet min with the Bucks.
Yeah.
And does like a victory lap thing with the old team. But I would be pretty surprised if Chris Middleton's in the NBA 2 years from now, based on how he's looked this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, honestly, that's like a little bit of a dovetail into my pick. Can I just launch right into it? Because I think CJ's been just as bad.
I wouldn't say just as bad, but he's been pretty bad.
I watch a lot. I do watch like a pretty decent amount of like Wizards games. He's awful, dude. He's like so like at least like Chris Middleton's kind of no. I mean, you're right. Chris Middleton's like stiff. Like CJ at least
like, CJ had a 42-point game recently. I would be floored if Chris Middleton could ever do that again.
I get it, but like you just watch like the in and out again. Like they really need because the thing is like Chris Middleton has like Keyshawn George is like in his minutes and like like they have real like players ahead of him on the depth chart. CJ McCollum, they like Bub has been a disaster, which we've like talked about on the show. They desperately need like CJ McCollum, and he cannot do like fucking anything. Like he stinks. I think he was under 40% from field goal. I think he might have sneaked back above it recently.
Yeah, he's shooting 41% from the field.
Okay.
41, 38, 81 splits, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He still doesn't turn the ball over, but that's only CJ it's very funny because when we talk about low turnover players, like CJ is like the perfect example of like fudging it a little bit because it's like he would just take a bad shot instead of passing the ball. It's the Terry Rozier thing where it's like, yeah, he's a low turnover player, but how many of those are just shots that should not have went up in the first place?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like,
I'm not making the argument that CJ isn't washed, to be clear. I'll put it like this. If both of these players get bought out and sign with a decent team, I could see CJ McCollum having a random game off the bench for like the Lakers in the playoffs, where he scores like 15 points and like swings a playoff game. I would be really shocked if we ever see that from Chris Middleton again.
Yeah.
I think Chris Middleton was a better NBA player, to be clear. Like, I'm not comparing their careers here. Like, I think Chris was clearly better than CJ, but CJ has a little bit more juice because he does have, and once again, it is not something that I would rely on by any means, but like the Wizards for both of these guys, to be fair, the Wizards are a wreck, dude. I mean, they're a big part of it.
Well, and like, I don't know, they're starving for like CJ's skill set. Like they need shot creation like more than anyone in the world. They need a point guard, and he's just like not been up to the task like whatsoever. And he looks old and shitty. Like I'm like, he's never been like a like, obviously he's always been kind of like a bad defender. Like it's like, I mean, it could be one of those things where it's like it just looks worse on the Wizards because there's like literally like nothing else. But like he's like a travesty, you know. Like I'll say this. I'll say this. Middleton, I like forget is out there, like, which might be like that, like might be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like CJ is like very loudly bad. Like I noticed CJ being bad a lot more.
He has the ball a ton. Like they kind of need him to have the ball because they have so few ball handlers.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to, first off, the amount of minutes that Middleton can play is the big thing here too. Like Middleton can't play more than 30 minutes a game at this point because of his ankles.
Yeah.
CJ can play more minutes, but it's not necessarily a good thing where it's like, we don't really want, I had him on my it's over list, to be clear.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I do think that he could hang on. And maybe I think what will happen is he signs with the team in the second half of the season and he has a random hot streak games, but he's way beyond being a positive NBA player. It's been like 2 years since he's been a positive NBA player, to be clear.
Yeah.
So, all right. Is there anyone? All right. I guess I'm up next with the not washed
guys. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to have to hand it to someone who has been much maligned. Okay. Someone who has a lot of fans, but also a lot of detractors. One of the most slandered players in the history of the NBA. And that's...
Are you going to steal my pick?
You're talking about this man, and it's a photo of him and his family.
Oh, you are going to steal my pick, you fucker.
Russell Westbrook has genuinely been the best player on the Kings.
He's been good, man.
That game, I watched him play. Now, keep in mind, Denver second half of a back-to-back, yes. That has to factor in. Anytime, especially now with how fast these teams play. I bet you the record on second half of back-to-backs is worse than it's ever been in the history of the NBA right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about literally eliminating them. So let's see what happens there. But Russell Westbrook is averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He had this game against the Nuggets the other day, which, by the way, I don't think there's any bitterness with him in the Nuggets like there was with him in the Clippers or the Lakers. But he is shooting 38.9% from 3 this year, which that has to be a career high for him. Yeah, it is by a mile. He's never shot higher than 35% from 3, and he's shooting 38.9% from 3. Certainly will regress at some point here. But he's so active. He's just a ball of energy for them. A team that has really been super depressing, and we all saw this coming from a mile away. But he's kind of been the only bright spot, which says a lot about the Sacramento Kings. But I said before this season, like, Russell Westbrook is better than a veteran's minimum player, but it's hard to fit him on teams. And at least he has this Kings team where he can occasionally go off and beat his old teams like he did in Denver the other night, and has these moments where he looks absolutely electric.
He's still like, you nailed it. Like the thing with him is just you can't fit him on good teams, you know?
Yep.
Put him on a bad team, he's still got it, man. Like he's still that guy, you know? And I'm happy for Russ that, because this Kings thing was never going to get salvaged anyway.
Sure.
This does seem to be kind of a best of both worlds for like both the Kings, where it's like, hey, gonna watch Russ be fun, because like come on, everyone. I think everyone does kind of root for Russ, like somewhere. Not a lot of people like actively dislike Russ.
Lakers
except,
fans
like,
do.
Well, like,
Yeah.
it's like not his fault. You blame LeBron for that.
He's
shit,
pretty
man.
beloved by most of their fans. Well, Lakers fans also don't like LeBron.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like the room temperature is that Lakers fans don't fuck with LeBron. I mean, maybe part of that is the Kobe thing, but also part of that is the fact that they've seen kind of Lay GM and how he can kind of, meddle with things, and that hasn't worked out great for them beyond the first year or two. So no, look, I definitely I think it's cool that Russell Westbrook has had multiple redemption arcs is my thing. Like he had one on the Clippers a few years ago. He had one on Denver last year. He's having one with the Kings now. Like it's not, once again, it's not going to end in a championship or anything for Russell Westbrook, but it is really cool just to see him have like a place where he could just hoop and have fun and occasionally have these games where he looks like old Russ and if the shooting thing isn't going to sustain, but the fact that he's even having a stretch like this is encouraging for the fact that he's 37 years old, 37. He was 08 draft. God, that's bro. If you had told me 5 years ago that Russell Westbrook would still be a starting level player in the NBA, I would have said you're absolutely insane. There's no way, like, to me, because he is the exact kind of guy that flames out because of athleticism in their mid-30s. Like the fact that he's extended it this long even is really a testament to him and his motor. And honestly, the league moving back towards this like high motor, offensive rebounding, running a ton, that's been huge for Russell Westbrook, because when it was the era of you had to be able to shoot, it was not great for him. And now he has value in other ways. And I'm really excited to see VJ Edgecombe become Russell Westbrook 2.0. Anyway.
Let's go.
I was literally like scraping for propaganda earlier. Like scraping for propaganda. Like what kind of shit can I cook up? Because VJ's obviously been really up and down recently. Someone said, "Are you gonna take him in the wash draft?" And I said, "I don't like you as a person." I'm not joking. I literally said that. So by the way, please just know that this is basically state propaganda. This is not, you do not have to take this seriously if you're the fan of any other fan base. But I had to have something.
No way.
There are 3 guards. This is so perverted, dude. There are 3 guards in NBA history who have had at least 2 offensive rebounds per game before turning 21 as rookies. Do you want to guess who they are?
Russell Westbrook and VJ Edgecombe.
Do you want to guess who the third one was?
Josh Hart?
Magic Johnson.
Let's go. Let's go.
Please ignore the fact that there are more possessions now, and please ignore the fact that VJ Edgecombe is playing the most minutes since LeBron James as a rookie.
It's amazing.
Just please remove that context from the conversation. And we got a Hall of Fame point guard on our hands here. I'm just telling you. Once he figures out how to dribble a basketball with his other hand. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So we're back to It's Over. No,
I think I have to pick you did steal my pick though, so I do have to I am starting to get into my like it's a little shaky part of things.
Shaky,
for example. This is a little bit of a shaky is it over. However, I am going to pick a 37-year-old, okay? Now, some disclaimers here. He has played 10 games and 139 minutes total.
Okay.
However, Kevin Love has looked really good on the Jazz.
Once again, Will Hardy, you give Will Hardy a guy with size who can shoot the basketball, and he will make him into a positive NBA player. That's all you need. You literally just have to have plus positional size and the ability to shoot a basketball, and you can play for the Jazz until you're 40.
He honestly, he was kind of in that Jazz Celtics game. He was kind of a fucking demon, dude. He kind of was tearing us apart. He can still rebound like nobody's business. The outlet passes, I know, everyone always talks about the outlet passes in today's NBA. That's really similar to what we were just talking about with like Russ, where like it's kind of coming around for some of this, like that there's genuine value in the Kevin Love, like, outlet passes and rebounds and shit. Like, I think he could be like this is gonna sound insane. I genuinely think he could be like a 10th like rotation guy, like with like spot minutes, like in like a playoff matchup where you like need rebounding and passing, like as like a utility, a guy who doesn't play for you in every playoff series, but like has specific matchups where he's valuable. I think he could be like useful for some teams. Like I would like try to see if I could like get him away from the Jazz if I were like a contender who like needed like some utility, like on
I'm saying from a team that is not a contender right now in the Sixers.
Yeah,
I've thrown out the idea of trying to get him on a buyout, but I will say this much.
Yeah.
The Sixers tried to get him 3 years ago on the buyout, and he went to the Miami Heat and looked really good, and they made the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
If Kevin Love signs with the Sixers on a buyout, he will be the worst player in the history of the NBA. It will be so bad that this will be the worst pick you've ever made in any of our drafts, because he will go to the Sixers and his entire lower half of his body will stop functioning, and he will look like George Niang running out of the ocean when he's running down the court. Like, I can see it coming from a mile away where he gets bought out, and he's going to want to like go to quote unquote a playoff team. And the Sixers are going to be like the 7 seed or something. And we're going to sign him, and he's going to be turbo dog shit. Like, I can 100% see it. But I do agree with your general points that like he's very clearly good for this Jazz team. Honestly, if I were the Jazz, I would just be like, let's just keep him around. Like having bigs who can make outlet passes and shoot the basketball, never been bad for a rebuilding team. It's just always like a really, and by the way, Boozer is literally Kevin Love 2.0. Like, it is kind of like I still want to see it play out. Like, he's kind of been like a bad team merchant guy so far to start this season at Duke. Like, he killed Indiana State and Howard, and then struggled in the games against like the major conference teams as a scorer, at least. Like, he affects the game with rebounding and passing and stuff. But it's eerily similar to Kevin Love when you watch him play. And that probably will be my comp whenever we come around to the draft. The other guys might have a higher ceiling, but he impacts the game in a ton of different ways. And look, Kevin Love was a top 15 player in the NBA for like a decade. So I mean, it's not a bad thing to be compared to a guy who made multiple All NBA teams and All-Star teams and won a championship. So
my looks aspiration. I want to look like Kevin Love. Kevin Love, return my DMs. Teach me how to look handsome.
I need to handsome Max. Anytime he comes onto the TV, Lauren's like, that guy's handsome, and I'm like, he's literally related to the Beach Boys. I was like, he is royalty. Kevin Love is literally like a golden god.
He also like kind of aged into it though, because like he was like kind of like he was schlubby. This was a schlubby, he was a caterpillar who blossomed into a butterfly.
He was definitely wears his t-shirt into the pool kid.
Yeah.
And Kevin Love is absolute demon now. A real silver fox.
That's what I was just gonna say. He does really well with the silver hair mixing, which like I need that. I need that quite badly. I need him to like teach me. So
he's a demon. All right. So I had a does he count section.
Okay.
That I want to read off before I get into my next it's over guy.
Okay.
Julius Randle turns 31 this week. I don't think he counts. I think he's still
he's not. Yeah. He's still, I would almost say he's still in his prime, to be totally honest. Like, yeah.
He also broke out later too. Like he was like 25, 26 when he broke out. So Derek White 31.
I would love to say yes, because
I've
been very like frustrated by like Derek, but he's still been like, he's really just like not shooting well. That's like it, like he's actually been affecting the game a lot of other ways. So
if you could go back in time to this offseason, would you have traded Derek White?
What was the serum?
That's just the question. I'm not
not, because I don't think we were gonna get like a Desmond Bane package for it. Like if we were getting the Desmond Bane package, yes, but I don't think that was out there for him. I think people kind of knew that they were walking into a Brad Swindle like 2.0. Like I don't think
Mhm.
anybody wanted that to lose that agenda battle. Like so.
I thought about what if you could go back in time and do Reed Shepherded picks. But the salary is almost too hard to match because of the Fred VanVleet thing. So
Yeah, and like I don't know if Reed would be good for us. Like I'm gonna be honest.
He'd probably be pretty good. I mean, once again,
Yeah.
Reed is great for the Rockets right now because they needed him badly, and Amen Thompson threatening to punch him in the face might have saved his career, which is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
But Reed is the kind of guy that I was very high on Reed in the draft. We both were. I love what I saw from him at Summer League. And then I was frightened to see how small he looked on an NBA court. Everything that I thought about him as a prospect is now translating.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't miss when he's open. He's affecting the game defensively with the playmaking. He's looked way more confident. He's kind of looked a lot like Kentucky Reed, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, I want to like clarify what I meant by that, but like I'm not sure that his development arc would like be the same. Like I think that it's
I don't know if he would be as good this year, but when Tatum came back, I think he would be great.
He'd be good. I think he would be good in like 2 or 3 years, like yeah, essentially. So I don't know.
We don't have to
I'm
worry
interested
about it anymore.
I like Reed. I had Reed very high on my board. I'm invested in Reed doing well. I also would like to see Reed in the playoffs before I make any grand judgments about how good Reed is. So
40. He's literally doing the Kentucky thing again. He plays 24 minutes per game.
Yeah.
And then he takes 6 threes in those 24 minutes. He's making 48% of them.
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah.
He does not
come back down to earth a little bit though.
We'll see.
He'll settle
48,
at like 43.
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's gonna be more
very
like
high.
43. Yeah.
But my whole argument was like, you got to bet on outliers, and he might be an outlier shooter. You know who is an outlier shooter? Fucking Con Knipple. God damn, that guy is so fucking good at shooting. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was with you on Reed. You were higher on Con than I was, and you should take your victory lap because I thought he would just be like more of like a very good starter. I did not necessarily see the star upside, and is he the best Hornets draft pick ever?
LaMelo, Kemba, and him of this iteration, the Bobcats, Alonzo Mourning and I guess Alonzo Mourning, and I don't know if Baron Davis was a pick for them, but I'm
just saying with Con's development right now and what we know about like LaMelo's injury stuff.
Larry Johnson. Well, no, but this is also hindsight bias because keep in mind LaMelo was amazing as a rookie and made the All-Star game the second year. So like
with the injury, with the knowledge of the injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because Con's it's very funny. We get one Duke rookie guard that's like he's the best since we had Jared McCain last year and him this year. Yeah. But Con is probably, since he's just been able to, if he can sustain it, probably the best rookie guard since LaMelo. I'm not even doing a bit. Like those are the two best I can think of off the top of my head because Jared got hurt, so he doesn't even count in that category. But so all right, of the one and dones, I mean, I'm sure there's an older guy I'm forgetting about, but all right, so we're in the it's over section. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to choose Embiid because that's just depressing to talk about. This is kind of depressing too. Someone said earlier, how is Brook Lopez still on the board? Do you want to take Brook Lopez?
I probably should. Yeah, I mean, I guess we should take him. He's just kind of boring because I feel like he's been kind of washed for like 2 years. But I guess we have picked other.
He was pretty good last year on the Bucks offensively. He averaged 30.
That was kind of Mickey Mouse though. You watch the games and he was like the defense was so bad.
13. I don't disagree. I said offensively. Yeah. All right. Here's the drop off in stats though. Ready?
Okay.
Now he was playing twice the amount of minutes, so that's a part of this. 13, 5, and 2 on 50-37 splits for him last year. He's averaging 6 points, 1.9 rebounds, 0.5 assists. He's only playing 14 minutes a game, but he's shooting 40% from the field and 36% from three. So yeah, he's like To me, all the Clippers guys at the same time. I'm just gonna do a dual one if that's okay, and take him and Beal.
I was gonna take Beal.
The remaining Clippers guys, where it's like Beal thing's also depressing because it's like he just broke his hip. Like,
yeah, he's like 32, so it's like it's kind of a bummer, but like
he's been trending down for the last few years. And then once again, the cliff came for the Clippers guys with the Kawhi injury stuff and those two all at the same time. Like, it's crazy how much they fell off at the same exact time. And Brook is someone who was really holding on there at the end with the Bucks. I don't disagree with that. That he certainly looks slower, and like you can only get he was already kind of a slow guy, obviously. You can only get so far with size over the course of your career. He's like 38, right? 37, 38.
Yeah, I think he's one of the oldest players. I think he's still 37 technically, but he's like very close to 38.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I think if I remember correctly, Brook Lopez also might have got that same contract that Al Horford got with the second year player option on
I remember looking at like oldest players, and it's like him, like it's like obviously like LeBron, Chris Paul, Al Horford, and then I think it's like Jeff Green and Joe Ingles are above him. I think
he turns 38. If they make the playoffs, he'll be 38 in the playoffs. He turns it in April. So
do you know who the other guy I didn't mention on that list is?
Kyle Lowry.
No, I did say. I thought I did say Kyle Lowry. No, there's one more guy. Is Garrett Temple, bagman, still in the league, the fourth oldest player in the NBA.
He's been doing the Kyle Lowry thing for 5 fucking years.
Yeah, it's awesome,
he's
dude.
Literally been an assistant coach.
I respect it so much, man. Like, go
locker room vet, baby.
Do what you.
Yeah.
Just being a good hang, just being like a chill guy will get you so well. Yeah.
He's the chill guy meme, but he's making $70 million for being a chill guy.
Dude,
I made $70 million because I'm just a chill guy.
Yeah, I'm just a good guy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just say Brook Lopez and Beal, and then I'll let you take one to wrap up here. But once again, depressing Clippers year. I'm hoping that the Uno thing combined with maybe their schedule getting a little bit easier, and Kawhi hopefully being able to play like 40 games this year makes it so that they're giving up the 11th pick to the Clipper or to the OKC instead of a top 5 pick in this draft. But they also gave up the pick that became Jalen Williams when it was the 12th pick. So do with that information as you will.
Yeah. I said I was going to take DeMar DeRozan, and I had us like put him off to the side for this like later on, but like
we do want to talk. I do want to talk about DeMar real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a rumor that the Clippers were interested in DeMar. I'm not even kidding.
Man, come on.
I'm assuming that would be a John Collins for DeMar challenge trade, or it would be DeMar gets bought out of his current contract. And so I posted in the Discord a week ago and said, if DeMar gets bought out, who would even sign him? The Clippers, maybe. And with Beal out for the year, I think they would sign him.
Well, it's like, oh, well, the Kings should say, oh, wait, he's already on the Kings. Like, it's like
we're doing every time we think about like a player past their prime who just gets buckets, it's like he should sign with the Kings. He gets bought up with the Kings and then re-signs with the Kings.
Yeah, God, yeah, that would be very funny. Like
no one wants him, and then he just goes back. I think the Clippers would sign him because of the LA connection, because they lost Beal for the year, and because they're just trying to save face. Like, I'm not arguing that DeMar is going to contribute to winning basketball in 2025. What I will argue is that it can't hurt to try. Yeah. Even though that is just really, you are just the multiplying factors here with the Unks is like off the charts.
I was going to like kick DeMar while he's down, but like his raw stats are like not that bad.
That's what I was surprised.
Yeah.
DeMar is one of those guys where you kind of have to watch the game though, because like
exactly, like
he does not do any hustle anything. And also on top of that, like we've talked about, like the having DeMar on your team makes it so your shot chart will never be normal. Like you can never have a normal. It's just the reality of having DeMar on your team is like you're gonna be like last in the NBA in rim frequency, and like you're gonna like he's a talented player, but it's just he kind of just affects a ton of that kind of shit. But I had him in my TBD thing because I think that he might have a little renaissance if he signs with the Clippers and has like a hot streak for like 2 or 3 weeks.
I just think like I think the reason I don't want to pick him is because like everyone knows, you know, it's like not fun to talk about, you know, like even if the stats are good. I don't know. I have seen a couple Kings games, and like I was Yeah, still don't like that. I'll just go with he's not like a huge name necessarily, but he's a guy who's been on a lot of good teams, and he looks like dog shit this year. Like it came for him hard, and I guess he was kind of bad for the Magic last year. But KCP has been.
I had him as my last one. I'm not even kidding. Literally, it's over. KCP was my last guy.
Yeah, he has been a fucking travesty. Like he was bad for the Magic, but like it like kind of jumps off the screen.
Yeah.
Part of that might be that like it's like Coward kind of coming in, so like maybe it like looks worse, you know, like when that's like
you have the comparison when you have when the Bentley pulls up to the Chrysler.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I have to hand it to. I don't ever want to hand it to ISIS, but the Nuggets fans posting that the other day after the Jokic Sengun matchup was pretty funny. When they did that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good bit. Yeah, no, I mean, I just like, I don't know how to describe it besides like watching the games, like, because he looked like he would like disappear and he would like look bad for the Magic, like he was pretty bad for the Magic. I'm not gonna.
He was really bad for the Magic, but he rebounded after his horrendous start to just be like normal bad.
Yeah.
Bro, it is like tragic when you watch him on the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies are like bad, and he stands out as like maybe their worst player.
Like, I think he is their worst player, like other than Ja.
Crazy. Yeah. We did draft Ja.
Someone said on principle he needs to be mentioned, but no, in all seriousness, KCP's worse. Like Jalen Wells has rebounded since his horrible start. He's rebounded a little bit. And Demon Edie being back, bro, changes everything. Watch this space on 10, dude.
Trill, Chuck, and I's DM is a flame with the Edie propaganda.
It's all Edie propaganda. We got so much Edie propaganda in there. Yeah. They're gonna get sick of winning. In the last game against Dallas, he had 15 rebounds, 12 points on 2 of 3 from the field was my favorite part of his stat line.
Let's go.
He had 15 rebounds. I think 9 of them were offensive rebounds, and he was like a plus 20. I really do think that he's going to make such a massive impact for them just in general, like by being like a massive, I don't even want to call him normal, but like somewhat normal big on that team. They desperately needed him, especially next to Jaren Jackson. So him coming back could maybe salvage their season a little. They might be like a 10 or 9 seed and like make the play in and be a scrappy, fun team with those young guys. So I had a few guys left on the not wash list. Do you want me to
run through them? Yeah, because I didn't have money left.
Jimmy Butler, still just pretty good. Like
I didn't think that was even on the table. Like I know he's 36, but like
I think he's 37, bro.
Is he really?
Maybe he is 36. Maybe
I guess
maybe
he is Kevin Durant's age though. Like
no, he's 36. Yeah, he's 36.
I guess we did pick Harden, who's also 36.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because Jimmy never had any time where we doubted that he was like really.
I guess that's the thing.
He just kind of checked out with the Heat, so we were just like, that doesn't really count. Like that's, we see that all the time, right?
He's also like kind of, I don't want to say sneaky old, but like because he like did all the years of college, like and he wasn't.
He was a role player his first 2 years in the NBA. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So Jimmy is someone that I think at least deserves a shout for not being watched anymore. Or not being washed at all. Steven Adams, who is
that's a good one. He's kind of important to them.
2 years ago, I thought that I was like, Memphis is trading him because his knee is cooked. Like I was like, he hadn't played a lot of games. He had to have a surgery, and he's been massively important for the Rockets so far this year. He's 32, so still somehow only 32.
I was kind of shocked how like important and like good he looks on like the Houston games I've watched.
Although
I was like,
really the double big lineups have been getting their fucking teeth kicked in recently. I think they might switch back to like a more normal lineup. But either way, he's still been good. Like
I don't think that's like on him. I think it's more just a lack of shooting.
Yeah. But they're rebounding so many of their own misses. It's crazy. They're like legitimately one of the greatest rebounding teams in the history of the NBA. And he's obviously a huge part of that. Vucevic for the second straight year just looks more like
that's another kind of good one. I like. Did you like Vooch? Like the
going millennial boomer.
Yeah, the boomer Vooch. What did you think of Boomer Vooch? I was charmed by it. I don't usually like stuff like that. I was kind of charmed by Boomer Vooch.
I don't blame him. I watched that game. He wasn't wrong. Like they were pathetic. Like they Vooch is 35 playing on a team with a bunch of guys in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And they're all doing like, once again, like when OKC is winning 60 games and they do it, it's a little bit different than like the Bulls barely scraping out a win against the Wizards when they should have taken care of business and just beat the Wizards.
Yeah.
Vooch was like very clearly like, get me the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want to be around Jalen Smith and Matas Buzelis like fucking around after like this, like, you know, win we should have taken care of business with. But I didn't disagree with him at all. Now, once again, it did get turned into a millennial versus Zoomer.
I missed the discourse.
Yeah, generational discourse. But also, I will say, I do think there's a pretty big difference from like 35-year-old Vooch who grew up where he grew up. And like most of the like 21-year-olds on the Bulls, I'm sure they had very different lives in general. Yeah. But
Vooch has been in the league for fucking ever, dude. Was he was also pretty young when he came in, right? Was he 19 when he came in?
Yeah, we drafted him, dude. We traded Vooch, Jrue, all those guys when they were young. We didn't get, remember, I've told you, we almost had the platonic ideal of what you love in a basketball team, which is a team that wins 45 games and loses in the first round every year. Because we would have had Vooch, Jrue, Iggy, just like all number 2 and 3 options that would never be good enough to actually do anything, but would be a lot of fun and be mid. But hey, we're back there right now anyway, and we never made it to even a conference finals during the process. So, but my dad still will bring up, why did we trade Vucevic? And I'm like,
oh really?
I'm like, literally, first off, everyone recognizes the Andrew Bynum trade is one of the worst trades.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that is like a sneaky, that doesn't get brought up enough in terms of like really bad like franchise ruining, because you guys just went immediately into the process, but like that was like, it wasn't like you guys wanted to do the process. You had to.
We literally had to. And by the way, preview of our live show that we're doing at Silk City, possibly a little slop trial of Sam Hinkie. Shout out to the person who commented on our Patreon to do that, because I had that idea before for a live show, and I'm glad that we might end up getting to do that for the live show that we do. There are very few tickets left, but you can, if you can't get tickets to that, just come to New Orleans with us. It's the same price, right? But link in the bio for both of those things. But
how many tickets do we have left?
Three tickets.
We'll have 3 tickets to prove me wrong.
Hashtag prove Sam wrong.
Yeah.
We have many more tickets for New Orleans if you want to come there. So come to New Orleans.
Go to New Orleans.
Or buy a ticket if you're lucky enough to get one before they sell out. So Vooch just deserves a shout. But yeah, my dad still talks about that. And I'm like, dude, it was 13 years ago, bro. Let's move on. We've had Joel Embiid. We now have Tyrese Maxey. Like, I'm not worried about Nikola Vucevic, okay? But that is literally like a classic Philly dad thing to bring up. So Harrison Barnes, bro, have you seen what Harrison Barnes is doing this year?
No, is he good? I totally missed this.
He was leading the NBA in true shooting a week ago.
That's awesome.
I was like, how is this possible, bro? So
very on brand for Harrison Barnes, by the way.
13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He is shooting 53% from the field, 45% from 3, and 90% from the line to start the year. He is currently a true shooting of 70%.
What was that trade? How did the Spurs get him? What was that? Was that the
brother? That was so DeMar DeRozan could go to the Kings. My favorite part about this trade, ready? It was so DeMar DeRozan could go to the Kings.
Okay.
So they had to do a sign and trade. So they had to get off money. So they sent Harrison Barnes into the Spurs cap space, and they sent them an unprotected 2030 pick swap.
No way, dude.
And hold on, wait for it. They didn't get that pick swap back in the De'Aaron Fox trade. How is that possible?
Oh, dog. Oh,
so
Kings fans are God's strongest soldiers, dude. That like
now that the Hornets have gone,
yeah,
because the Hornets, I would say the Hornets would be worse in the game because they didn't even have like the beam team or any success.
But that's like the old, like, is it better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? You know, like,
yeah.
I mean,
that would, if they, if the Hornets trade Khan in the next year for Anthony Davis,
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Something
honestly,
like
that's
that.
offensive to Anthony Davis because Sabonis.
Sucks.
Yeah, I'm saying the
Yeah.
Sabonis Halliburton trade is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I
say
know the
here.
Halliburton. I mean, the Halliburton trade, like we've never seen the fact that and then Khan went on to like lead one of the most exciting, improbable like finals runs of all time. Like
What year? What year is he going to do that? You just said Khan instead of Hallie. That's a
no, that's what I'm
2029.
saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if that happened,
Oh yeah,
if we're comparing it,
for
like
sure. Yeah.
that would need to be what it be. I think Kings fans have had it worse than Hornets fans even. Like I really do. Like I think Pistons fans had it really bad for like a long time, like for a really long time.
I still think Bobcats have it. Bobcats / Hornets have it the worst. But now I'm starting to say if Khan is really this guy, then I think that is not the case anymore. But it's the Kings fans are back on top, and by on top I mean on bottom.
Yeah,
they're bottoms. So speaking of, I gotta go with one of my goats.
Okay.
Andre Drummond, come on down here, dude.
Let's
Beating
go.
the allegations.
He's back.
The Sixers, not an exaggeration. If the Sixers did not have Andre Drummond, we would have 3 wins right now.
Let's go.
He cannot protect the rim for shit, and defensively has moments where he's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Offensively, he's been kind of crushing it for us.
Yeah.
We need a big who can set screens. He had 24 rebounds in the Miami game yesterday.
Yeah.
He is averaging 8 points, 10 rebounds so far to start this year. He still gets steals and blocks occasionally, gets into the passing lanes, has active hands. Our net rating with him and Maxey on the court is like crazy. And Maxey he's been huge for Maxey so far this year, who's been one of the 10 best players in the NBA to start the season.
5 best.
What's that?
5 best. I'll say it so you don't have to.
Thank you. And it's
I'll let you dodge the allegations. I mean, Maxey's objectively been one of the 5 best players in the NBA.
Like, he's been amazing. But 61% from 2 so far to start this year. By the way, Andre Drummond is making half a 3 per game, Sam.
That's pretty funny.
He takes 3s now from the corners. And every time I think it's going in. I'm like, when did this so far to start this year? Now this will come crashing down to earth and will look very funny in a few months. He is 8 for 20 from 3 to start the year, 40% from 3 so far this season. So shout out to Drummond, man. One of my favorite players of all time. Just an absolute joy to watch when he's cooking. I'm sure this won't last the whole season, but I've really enjoyed it. And if we can get this version of Drummond with us even 40% of Joel Embiid, I will be very happy with the outcomes of this season. And Embiid might come back tomorrow, but we'll see. Last final thought before we fully get out of here. There's a very funny possibility. Unless you wanted to draft someone.
No, I'm good.
Right.
We exhausted my list.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray. Someone pointed this out earlier. Jamal Murray might be finally good enough to make the All-Star team this year, and they changed the format so that it's in. And he is international, to be clear.
Oh,
but
because he's Canadian, yeah.
Yeah, he's Canadian. Yeah. But how many good international players are there that would make it over? They're all in the West. Luka, SGA,
that's true.
Jokic,
Giannis is
Wemby,
like the only good one,
like
in the East,
like he might literally be good enough to make the All-Star team finally, and it might not matter at all.
God, that would be so funny. I mean,
I wonder if they just give an honorary All-Star where it's like, hey, because you're like, you would have made it in a normal year, you'll still get it. Because otherwise, we're going to look back on these years if they change back to the original format and be like, oh man, that guy really got screwed.
Yeah. I mean, this is why, like, here's the thing with like the All-Star stuff. Like when you start, I guess it's mostly all NBA, but like my issue with this is it starts fucking with guys' money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't really think All-Stars.
No, All-Star doesn't.
No, all NBA does. Yeah.
But I would make the argument though that like all NBA, like you're more likely to make all NBA if you're an All-Star. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that kind of closes your. Pascal Siakam's the only guy I can remember who pulled that off.
Yeah.
The no All-Star into all NBA.
And I think he did it twice too. But I just think about guys work their whole lives to be all-stars in the NBA, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it is really crazy that, and I'm sure Jamal would say he doesn't care, but like, I think he deep down
He
does
cares.
care.
He cares, man.
They all care, dude. Like,
yeah.
They're competitors. At the end of the day, they want to be part of that shit. And
Jamal kind of deserves it. You know, I'm going to be honest. Like,
he's been very up and down, but like just off the playoff runs alone,
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's been good when it matters. You know, he deserves it more than some of these other guys who have made it. Like,
yeah. Let's get Jamal in the All-Star game. Let's do it this year. All right. Time to go watch basketball. Be back. Oh, we're gonna do the Patreon episode. Will probably be the live podcast this week. Where I'm gonna try to record it. So that's the plan. So we won't be back until the live episode. I bought mics to clip on for the live show so that we can do that. But let's get it.
You're gonna get, I'll be on a hot mic talking about how much I hate all of you. So you'll have to.
You gotta tune in.
You gotta tune in for that. Yeah, tune in for that.
Peace.
Peace.